Social ecology is also home to about 65 faculty, depending on how you count, and maybe more if the provost sets us loose. And I give you just a few pictures. I tried to choose the most photogenic faculty, so if you see yourself up here, it means I think you're photogenic. If you don't see yourself up here, it means I think you're not. My picture's not up there, so don't get too many. This is a faculty that I just want to say I could stand up here for hours and tell you all the fabulous things they do. And in fact, I had written draft comments, but I'm going to scrap those because about a week ago, I read something on an in-flight magazine that just keeps going over and over in my head. It was a Southwest flight, and in the in-flight magazine, they were profiling a woman who used to be a public high school teacher, and now she trains people to do various jobs at Southwest. And they asked her, well, what did you learn in public high schools that is transferable to now doing training at Southwest? And she had this great quote. She said, students don't care about what you know until they know you care. And I thought, oh, I bet she's a good teacher. And I actually think that could be said about social ecology. One of the incredible features about social ecology is the caring reeks off this faculty. And I'll just embarrass one person. Karen Rook's here tonight. She's the Associate Dean of Social Ecology. Where's Karen? You gotta stand up, Karen. Associate Dean for Research, full professor in psychology, social, and behavior, and this year is handling an external review for the entire school. And in spring quarter, I kept walking by her office, watching her with an undergrad who didn't know how to open a data set and analyze data. And Karen sat there with her. I counted about twice a week, and I don't know for how many hours. And I kept saying, Karen, do you have time for this? And she said, well, she doesn't know how to deal with data. I have to show her. That's a level of caring that you would hope for, to have someone at her level do those kinds of hours with an undergraduate one-on-one. Karen, I thought you were nuts, but I sure was impressed. So thank you for doing it. We also are home to about 2,000 undergraduate students, and I gave you some of their pictures, and about 250 graduate students. I was pleased when Frances Leslie was announcing how many NSF award recipients the university got, and we came in second in the frequency list. We had 3 in psych and social behavior alone get NSF fellowships to support their career over multiple years of graduate school. We're home to, I just looked up the number, thanks Deborah for giving me this, 18,979 alumni as of this week. All right, including, you've already met Martha Newkirk and Salma Shahabi, and I would also recognize Joan as an alumni. If I could get the alumni for the school to stand up. Oh, there's even more. Thank you. These are, so there's over 18,000 more, is what we couldn't invite them all. And we're home to 4 undergraduate degree granting programs and 7 degree granting programs. And my hope is that in collaboration with Dean Dozier of the School of Social Sciences, we can soon roll out the Masters of Public Policy degree. Now, all of this culminates in a simple mission and a simple objective. At its core, the School of Social Ecology is discipline and boundary-crossing research devoted to teaching and education that inspires the students and the faculty to engage with knowledge production for its own sake, as well as in order to address social problems. The idea, as the provost said, is we adopt the mission that part of our obligation, our solemn obligation, is to contribute to the betterment of society. This is what I call purpose-driven science, and that's a term I like for a whole host of reasons, and it's a term that I think fits the School of Social Ecology. Tonight what I'd like to do is showcase for you 2 ways in which all of these people, all of these students, these alumni, all of the administrators that support this school, and all of the friends and donors of this school help us engage in this purpose-driven science and education. I want to showcase 2 ways we do this. One is by building better communities, and you're going to see some examples of the way in which our research and teaching contributes to the betterment of our communities. And related, second, I want to talk a little bit about enriching modern life. But I'm getting tired of talking, so what I want to do is turn back to image. Where's Mark? Mark's here tonight. Mark tells me images can say way more than I can ever say. He hasn't heard me give a lecture, a 2-hour lecture, Mark. So I want to turn to the images. And in a very short period of time, I want to reveal for you the way we're fulfilling the mission I just described, how it is we engage in engage in transformation, by focusing our research and teaching on a host of issues Tonight we're going to showcase international conflict, crime control, mortgage foreclosure, autism, coping with trauma, and the management of stress. And I just chose these 6. There's many, many more. I'd now like to turn our attention to the first video, in which I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Richard Matthew, the director of the Center for Unconventional Security Affairs. Where's Richard? Sure. Okay, Richard. As well as Dr. Susan Turner, the director for the Center for Evidence-Based Corrections. Susan. I want to introduce to you our first featured speaker, Professor John Hipp. John's over there getting ready. Right, John? Let me tell you a little bit about John. The problem is with John is I can go on and on and on, because the truth is I'm a fan of his and I'm a fan of his work. I chose John tonight because he's one of our stars at a very early phase in his career. Let me tell you a little bit about his background. Probably the most important thing you need to know is that John was a well-established car dealer in Las Vegas before he decided to be an academic. So if you ever lost big in Vegas, or won big, you might want to go talk with him. He got his PhD in sociology from University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill in 2006, and joined the Department of Criminology, Law, and Society in that same year. When we appointed him as an assistant professor in the Department of Criminology, Law, and Society in 2006, by all measures, training, early publications, demonstrated commitment to teaching, awards for his work as a graduate student, he had the markings of a potential rising star. So of course we wanted him. We've competently stripped away the potential from that sentence, and now his status is as a bona fide rising star. You needn't take it from me. I know deans puff their faculty up all the time. You can take it from the American Society of Criminology, which next month, in November, will be awarding him the 2010 Ruth Shawn Cabin Young Scholar Award, which is the award they give to the best young criminologist in the United States. And by young, they mean within the first 7 years since PhD. So John is the guy. I won't go through his entire curriculum vitae, but let me say in a very short period of time, he's earned the kind of distinction that this award recognizes. In brief, he's mostly earned it because of his work looking at the relationship between the structure of communities and crime. Tonight he's prepared to talk with you about communities and crime in the context of one of the most pressing community problems we face, which is a frightening foreclosure rate. I'm pleased to introduce to you Professor John Hipp.